Hello, everybody. Welcome to Champs Drink Champs. This is just Taylor here for a solo episode. I really wanted to do a solo episode because I really wanted to talk to you guys about the spring equinox. I know that previously I have done like a meditation before, but this is just going to be a quick, short episode all about the spring equinox. I think it's really important to pay attention, and I'll get into this a little bit later, but I think it's really important to pay attention to the things that nature is doing around us, the things that the earth is doing around us, the things that the moon's doing around us, because it influences your life. Whether you know it or not, it really does influence your life. So that's why I really wanted to make this a podcast episode. I am also going to be starting to do a series like the Cheers to Careers, but it's going to be a full moon series. So if you're in Salt Lake City, you should come to my full moon circles because it's a whole thing. We do breath work, we do meditation, there's a sound bath, there's a yoga flow, there's just a beautiful form of connection. But if you are out of state, which we actually do have a lot of out of state listeners, it still is a good way for you to incorporate the full moon into your life and give you things to focus on every single month. So let's go ahead and dive in. I always feel so awkward doing solo episodes. Um, okay, so the spring equinox is tomorrow, so Tuesday the 19th. So welcome. This is coming out a day earlier than usual because I wanted it to come out right on the spring equinox. So on March 19th is the spring equinox. If you've never heard of the spring equinox before, the short answer is it's the beginning of spring, the first day of spring. It is so beautiful in Utah today. Like truly so beautiful. It is so warm. It's so sunny. And I definitely have some spring fever going on. Oh, sorry, I have the hiccups too. Hopefully, I don't hiccup in the microphone. Okay, so the long answer for what the spring equinox is a joyful time centered all around rebirth and growth. It's the arrival of spring, finally. I feel like winter was so long. Not as long as it was last year. Last year's spring equinox, we were still like snowing. So I'm glad that it's not, the winter doesn't feel as long as it did last year, but damn. Winter's rough. Winter is really rough. So I'm very happy to see the sun and feel the warm weather. This is also a really cool day because there is a near equal length of day and night. So if we think about balance, whenever I think about balance, I always think of like a yin and yang symbol, or I'll think of like the old fashioned like balance. I don't even know what they're called, honestly. But if you think about balance, it's a perfect little balance here, and that's what the day does. So there's an equal amount of day and an equal amount of night, which is really nice coming out of winter because we've had more night than we have had day. So to have that equal amount and then have it switch over to longer days, shorter dark periods is really a beautiful balance to me. So I like to think of it as a time of light and darkness are dancing together, which is so much like our life. There cannot be light without dark, and there cannot be dark without light. So as the shift moves from the quiet and introspective focus of winter to a more outward, engaged, and energetic feelings of springs, there may be some growing pains that surface. There's often discomfort in change. So if you think back about your life, just in general, not a certain time frame, just your whole life, whenever there's big moments of change, even small moments of change, it does tend to get a little bit uncomfortable and maybe you feel a little bit like uneasy about it. That would be kind of the growing pains that you may feel happen. I know that this last week with the time change, even though the time change is so silly, it's such like a mind game. I have like this last week when the daylight savings happened, it was so hard on me. Like I will be completely honest, it was so hard on me. So that's like a thing of change that I just don't vibe with. I think it's weird. I think it's silly. Like all of a sudden we had more hours in the day a week ago than we do today. Like it's just so weird. So that's a big thing of change in this spring equinox time that makes me feel a little bit uneasy. I'm going to grab a drink. It is so hard to record solo episodes and not just be able to like drink whenever you need to drink. I have to say that. Okay, so we are always going through changes, even if you don't notice them. So think about aging, for example. We don't really notice a whole ton how our body is aging. Like gray hair, we don't notice them start to come in. Just all of a sudden, we have gray hairs coming in. So we are constantly in a flow of change, even if we're not realizing that the change is happening. So, how do we learn to navigate the discomfort, to reconcile with the inevitable shifts that we so blatantly have in nature and so deeply within ourselves? I love that thought. Nature is constantly changing. If we look at our body, if we look at our mind as a whole, we naturally follow the cycle, especially as women. We naturally follow the cycles of the moon. We naturally follow the cycles of the world, of nature, of seasons. If you think about the winter, you're always more tired in the winter. You're always wanting to kind of hibernate at home, be cocooned in your home and watch movies or, lay in a blanket, read books. And then when spring comes, you get this sudden burst of energy. Like there's so many similarities with the moon and with the earth, with the natural cycles of the earth that we as humans follow. And we just don't really pay attention or we don't know what we're looking for. So a big way that we can help ourselves see this is allow ourselves to be present. So I know my last solo episode was all about being present. I knew there was a reason why that was being called to me. It is something that I am focusing on so much in my personal life. And I'm focusing on it more in my yoga classes. And I think that everybody should really put a focus on being present in their lives because that is when you start to notice these things. That is when you start to see the changes. That's when you can start to even make change is by being present. So anchoring into your present moment. It's difficult to trust that your life has purpose and meaning even when you are not being productive. But it is the rhythms and cycles of earth that show us and encourage us to rest in darkness and allow for the light to unfold us and help us blossom without forcing or making things happen. Again, if you are present in your life, present with the things that are happening just naturally with the world around you, you'll start to notice that you don't have to force things. You don't have to make things happen. If you are present with your body, present with your mind, present with the things that are coming up, if you have mindful moments throughout your day, you're not going to have to force a whole bunch of things. With going back to my episode that I recorded about being present, one of the things like tracking my food and just eating what I intuitively want to eat, but making notes about these things, it's almost has sent like a trigger to my brain of like, oh, I know that you love the taste of Doritos, but they make you extremely inflamed. Like, we're just naturally not going to think they taste as good now. Like, I have tried to eat Doritos since I've been doing this, and they're not as good as they used to be. And I was like, maybe they like changed the formula, like the recipe, like, you know how weird stuff is always happening with our food. And when I was preparing this Equinox class that I'm teaching tomorrow for yoga, that sentence came up and I was like, I'm not forcing myself to not eat the Doritos. My body is just naturally knowing because I'm paying attention to it. My body's just naturally like, this does not make me feel good. I don't want this anymore. And I just think that that was such a big aha moment to me to be like, wow, the changes that I'm making in my life, even with my leg, for example, it's healing now. And it's just because I've kind of like let go control of it and just not forcing things to happen. I'm not forcing my body to heal itself faster than it can. I'm not forcing my body into not eating things that I know are bad for me. My body is just naturally taking over and doing things that it wants to do. which I think is so powerful. And that would have never happened if I didn't slow down, make notes, even just acknowledging the situation for what it is a moment that you are present with your body and present with the things that are happening with it. So I just really love that thought. Most of us do not realize how our internal states of being are influenced by the energies of the earth, the moon, nature, etc. Often we feel confused, restless, stuck, or even powerless to change our mindset and oh my gosh, powerless to change our mindset and state of being. The return of the light presents us with an opportunity to take the time to release our fears and surrender into new intentions for ourselves. Yeah, I think that that kind of speaks for itself. I know that seasonal depression for me comes in about February, January, February. February is when it's really bad, and I just feel stuck. I feel like, what's the point of living life? Like, what is the point of all this? Like, it's never good weather. I can't go outside. Like, it just makes me feel really stuck. So I really think I connect so much with the spring equinox because it honestly for me feels like a whole new rebirth situation for myself, that I am just able to be outside, be active, be not freezing all the time. It's not dark and cold all the time. Like, the sun can heal you in such beautiful, beautiful ways. So some ways that you can feel present through this transition going into the summer solstice. So we're going into the summer right now. The summer solstice is in 3 months. So we're just at such a beautiful, fun time of life. So grounding. I haven't talked a whole ton about grounding. I know it's something that Shelby and I do regularly when the weather is nice. I literally in the morning, it was a lot easier when my dog was alive because I would take her outside in the morning, and that was like a perfect time to ground because I could, I had to be outside anyway. But in the mornings, I go outside and I just stand in the grass. That's literally all you have to do is just stand or sit in the grass. Don't do it with any shoes on. You do want to be barefoot. There's a really good book. If you have Audible, like I think it's called Audible Plus, you can get free books to listen to. And there's a really good book called Grounding. If you're into more like science-based books about why things that seem kind of weird, why it actually works, that book is really good. It goes into all of the science about how the Earth's ions help your body heal, help your body connect, help your body find peace. And it's very interesting because the ions of the earth, the ions through the grass, through the dirt, through sand, through water, those ions react with ions in your own body. And it literally can heal anxiety, it can heal depression. Yeah, it's a very interesting book. It's called Grounding. I'll definitely link that for you guys if you're interested in that. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking really fast. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to grab some water and I'll be right back. Okay, so sorry. I don't know why I was talking so fast. Um, so if you've never tried grounding before, I highly recommend that you try grounding. It literally is so easy. It's a great way to get your morning sunshine because getting morning sunshine is also a very, very important thing. And grounding just literally grounds you into the moment. There's been times it's been a stressful day at work, and I'm like, I just need to go outside for a minute. And I will literally take my shoes and socks off, stand in the grass, stand in some dirt. I have like a little river by my work at the ketamine clinic. Like, there was a few times that I've just gone and stuck my toes in the water. Like, that's how far sometimes I will take grounding because I really firmly believe in it. And I know Shelby does too, because Shelby also grounds. So that's a great way to be present throughout this transition. Another way is to be outside in nature. I've talked a lot about how healing nature is. And if you don't ever get outside throughout the day, I am telling you, it's going to help you so much to just take 5 or 10 minutes throughout the day, especially if you work in an office where there's not a lot of windows and Yeah, like where you're just staring at computers. So an example I'll give is at the ketamine clinic. Our office is kind of like in the back and there's no windows. It's really dark back there. We're literally just staring at TV screens all day or our computer screens, and we're in and out of dark rooms with patients. And I have gotten everybody in the office to take little breaks to go outside. Like today, we all just kind of like took shifts and went outside for like 10 minutes, went on a quick walk by the river, came back in. It helps your mental state so much to take a few minutes outside throughout the day. Also, hiking, going to the lake, going to the swimming pool, having drinks with your girlfriends outside, having dinner outside. Nature is so healing. The outdoors is so healing. Again, that book about grounding explains the science behind it. But without me going into the science with it, it literally changes your body chemistry. So if you have depression, anxiety, try putting these two things into your life every day and just notice how it helps you. And don't go outside and be like on your phone the whole time or listen to music or have AirPods in. Like try to just go outside and either connect with real life people or connect with yourself without using headphones, without using your phone. My walks during lunch when I'm at work, they are so sacred to me, and I do not listen to anything. I keep my phone with me just because that's the world that we live in now, that we need to have some way of communication in case something bad happened. But it is so sacred to me, and I will never give that up. And I literally swear that part of the reason why my depression was so bad throughout the winter is because I wasn't able to do these walks all the time. Okay, so the next thing is embrace your creativity. With the season changing into spring, it brings a huge burst of creativity. So I didn't do an episode about the winter solstice, but the winter solstice is essentially hibernation. So following like what animals do is they hibernate all winter. And that's kind of what we naturally do is we go inside, it's a great time to brainstorm in the winter, and the spring is a great time to start putting your dreams and plans into action. So, when I do winter solstice events, we brainstorm things that you would want to happen. And then with the spring equinox, we go back to what we did in the winter and we start making plans for these dreams to happen. I know that I feel extremely creative, especially, I mean, it's only Monday, but like, probably since like Thursday of last week until today, I felt just really creative, really excited about things, really like my brain's been going of like, this is things that I want, like, how can I make this happen? And my yoga flows have been so much more creative. So embrace the creativity that's coming to you in whatever way it's coming to you. Um, Another one is spring cleaning. I've also been doing this. I love spring cleaning so much. It's one of my favorite times, and I'm really diving into it. I started diving into it a lot earlier this year, but I just really want to like clean all my shit out. Like I just want to almost start anew. If I could throw away everything in my house and just start all over again, I would absolutely love that. But yeah, spring cleaning, this will help shed those moments of winter and the unproductive type feelings that you feel. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm listening to this, but I don't really have a ton of creativity, try cleaning out a space in your house, and that will give space for the creativity to come to you. Okay, embrace movement with your energy. So this, I actually I do a lot of research when I'm prepping for these events, whether they're the equinox, solstice, or the full moon events. And every single thing that I researched for this spring equinox said, take this energy and start moving your body. And I know we talk about this on this podcast all the time, but that's how much Shelby and I both believe in it. And that is literally what the universe is telling you right now is to take that energy, that new energy that you have, figure out how you want to spend that with moving your body. You know, that me and Shelby are planning this race in July and one in September. And I'm very nervous for it, but I'm really enjoying this moment of like prep that I'm getting to do. I'm getting to do walks more. I'm slowly starting to run. And after all year last year of me not being able to do these things because of my leg, and now like I have those moments that I can do these things and they don't hurt me so bad, I'm really enjoying that. So my season of movement that I'm enjoying is cardio and strength training. So whatever that looks like for you. I actually just came across a TikTok the other day of this older lady who had been doing the Wii Fit, and she's done it for like, I can't remember what it said, like 900 days or something. And she loves it. And that is her form of exercise. She gets up at 6 a.m. every morning and does an hour of the Wii Fit. And she's stayed super in shape. She's enjoyed it. Is that my idea of exercise and movement for me? No, I could never do that. But for somebody else, it doesn't matter. Like that's what she loves and she's moving her body. So whatever your movement looks like for you, are you going to train for a half marathon with Shelby and I? No, probably not, because most people don't want to run a half marathon, but that doesn't mean that you just, oh, well, this podcast I listen to, they're training for a half marathon. So I'm never going to be able to do that. So I'm just not going to move my body. Like, no, exercise should not be a punishment for your body. Exercise should be something that you feel is fun. So with this new energy that you're getting with this new season, start to find an exercise program that works for you and incorporate it in your body, in your life every single day. Invite in fresh energy. So saging your home, light the fun, springy candles, fresh flowers. I know that Shelby does this as well. We both love fresh flowers in our house. If it's farmer's market time, I get them every Saturday when I go to the farmer's market. If it's not, I get them every week that I go grocery shopping. So I have a constant rotation of fresh flowers in my house because they just make me feel so excited and so happy about life. And I love picking them out. Like at the farmer's market, she pre-makes all of these beautiful bouquets, and just getting to look at those and choose what I want is so exciting. At the grocery store, picking a bunch that I want and making my own beautiful bouquet. Like that's such a easy, nice way to invite in fresh energy that it's just lovely. So if you don't ever purchase fresh flowers, I highly recommend. Again, lots of highly recommends, I know. Also, a big important thing is to sage your home, and do it with all of your windows, all of your doors open as you're saging, because that will literally, I sage my house every month with like my monthly cleaning, but I just kind of like do a room at a time, leave the window open while I'm in there, and then like shut the window, move to the next room. When I do equinox or solstice saging, I open up everything and I leave it open, because I am getting rid of that energy from that previous season. And with the door and windows open, it allows that fresh, beautiful energy to come back in. Those beautiful vibrations to come in. And I do not want to hold on to the winter energy for any longer if I don't need to. So tomorrow I'm going to do like a full saging of my house, and everything's just going to be wide open, airing it out, leave it open for a few minutes, just really let everything air out and be nice. The last thing for some ways to be present through this transition is to tap into your inner child. Do things that bring that inner child joy. I know that Shelby hates the word inner child. I have been really diving into inner child work just naturally. It kind of started naturally happening through therapy. I'm also at the stage right now that I'm like, I hate the inner child word as well. Like I'm over it. I don't love it. Like my inner child is so wounded, and I just don't love focusing on my inner child so much right now. And when I was prepping this, I was like, maybe that's my sign that I need to focus on my inner child more with joy. Like I don't listen to Disney music anymore like I used to. I don't watch Disney movies like I used to. Like those were such big ways that I helped my inner child. I actually did a Disney walk through Peloton last week. And I just had this beautiful sense of joy and literally like in my bones, listening to the music that I was like, I really just need to find more joy with my inner child. I feel like I've been spending a lot of time trying to heal her instead of like celebrating with her and loving her and finding joy with her and doing things that make her feel happy. So that's a big thing I'm also going to be focusing on in these next few months, is just really how to find joy with that inner child. So, a few journal prompts that I wanted to share. Hold on one second. So sorry. Mondays are my microdose days, and I really get so thirsty on the days that I microdose. So I apologize for taking so many breaks. Um, okay, so some journal prompts that I wanted to share with you. If you wanted to do some journal prompts, which I think it's really good to do journal prompts during equinoxes and solstices, because it gives you something to look back on. So, three of the journal prompts that I'm going to share is, where do you feel like you have a really good balance in life? So again, this equinox is all about balance. So remember that balance isn't static. It's always fluctuating. It ebbs and flows, responding to life's ever-changing rhythms. It's about becoming aware of where we stand in relation to this dance of balance. Do we find ourselves leaning too far in one direction? So when you think about your life, where do you feel like you have a good balance? And that's just important to notice and to acknowledge. And then if you would like, you can take it a step further and be like, where do I need more balance? But that question, I think, will naturally come when you notice, when you start to think of where you feel really balanced in life. So the next journal prompt is, what new chapter in life are you ready to begin? So that's just a really fun question to ask yourself. Like, what am I ready to dive into? Maybe it's a new exercise program. Maybe it's something that fuels your creativity. There's so many things that you can begin in the spring. And yeah, so that's a really good journal prompt that I love. And the last one is, spend a few moments to find gratitude for things that happen throughout the winter. Whenever I do these events, I always have people write down either the good things that have happened the last 3 months or the stuff that you feel grateful for, because it's so easy, especially in winter, to not pay attention or notice all the good that has happened in that month. And even though it is kind of like a shitty time of life, it's not like a fan favorite time of life, there is so many beautiful things that you can still be grateful for in that stage of life. So taking a moment and just like writing them down. Write down if you had any accomplishments, write down if you had any epiphanies, write down if you just enjoyed your time of rest, that you were grateful for allowing your body to rest. Like, there's so much to be grateful for throughout this winter season. And then the last one, I guess I did have another journal prompt. I forgot I added it last minute. Where do you feel the hope of spring coming? So for me, the sunshine. Today was so beautiful, and having the sunshine, having my long lunch walk, and just really getting to enjoy that and feel the warmth to be able to go outside without a coat or a jacket on. Like, that was so hopeful for me to know that, like, yes, we may have one or two more snowstorms, but like, they're not going to be as bad as they were in December and January. And there is literal sunshine on the other side of this. So, wow, that season's over, and I'm so thankful for that. And the next thing is, my leg is healing, and that's so exciting. The doctor is very confident that my leg will be healed by the summer, and I am seeing this witch doctor and this new wound doctor and doing like my own energy stuff and doing my own affirmations and all the things, and I'm just releasing control with it and just letting it happen, what needs to happen, letting this new doctor do what he needs to do, letting the witch doctor have complete control over whatever she needs to do with that. And I'm so excited for it to heal and be able to get into the water again. Like, that is truly the thing that I have missed absolute most, is just getting in the water. at a swimming pool, at the ocean, at the lake. Like I knew that water was healing for me, but I did not realize how healing water was for me. So I cannot wait to just get in water again. I'm so excited about that. This race coming up, I feel very hopeful and very excited for. We got a big group of our friends to sign up with us. So I feel like it's just going to be a great, like, girl power. We did something hard, and I'm really excited to cross that finish line and like feel that feeling of like, holy shit, this has been on my bucket list for so long to do like a race. And I finished it, I accomplished it, and I'm so excited. I'm not paying any attention to my time. I don't care about my time. I'm not going to try and beat a certain time. I just care about finishing. And I'm really excited that I get to do it with such a big group of my closest friends. I just think it's going to be so exciting and so rewarding. So that's a big hope for me. And then the last thing is just cleaning out my house. I'm kind of a pack rat, I'm learning. I just kind of shove things in random cabinets. I think it's because I just have so much extra room because we don't have kids that I'm like, oh, I'll just shove this in a cabinet and then I don't have to think about it. So cleaning out my cabinets has been so healing for me to just like get rid of stuff, bring a cleanliness to stuff, bring organization to stuff, because I never have really organized my house. Like literally when we moved in, I was kind of just like put anything anywhere and that's just it's home, even though it's home makes no sense for the flow of how I want things. So really taking the time and just getting it done and paying attention to it and getting it the way that works for Tony and I, that makes sense for Tony and I, is so exciting for me. So that's another big hope. So yeah, I think that's it that I want to share about the spring equinox. I am going to be recording a meditation for my YouTube channel. So I would highly recommend, after listening to this episode, go do the meditation either before, or I guess I should have announced it before, but I'll do it on our Instagram. But doing the meditation before or after listening to this episode obviously will now be after, but that just kind of gets you into the right headspace. And it's a really good meditation that I wrote up over the weekend. So yeah, if you don't know my YouTube channel, it's Yoga with Tay 2323, and it's just going to be called the Spring Equinox Meditation. So I highly recommend doing that. Probably do that before you do the journal prompts, and then clean your house. If you read cards, read your cards, and yeah, just have a beautiful spring equinox. It is just such a beautiful time, and happy spring, everybody. We made it to the other side and I'm so excited. Make sure that you share this episode with a friend, and make sure to like, rate, and review us, and follow us on Instagram and all of those fun things. And Shelby and I will see you next week with an episode together. That's going to be a really good topic. So I can't wait. Love you guys so much. Thanks for listening. Bye.